Together, and we're going to bring the chest all the way over the knees, walk the hands ahead of us, really slide them out and bring your forehead down to the ground. And you're going to stay here and breathe nice and deep, and I want you to send your breath into the sides of your body, so into your ribs, into your waist, even into the armpits. And then we're going to turn our palms to face up towards the ceiling, so we'll stay in child's pose, just turning the palms to face up. And you'll feel a little change in the stretch. Hold it here and breathe. And then bring your hands down to the ground. Come up onto all fours for a moment and widen your knees. So you're going to open your knees as wide as the mat. Keep your feet together and then push back again. And this time you should be able to bring your chest a little closer to the floor. Relax into it. So really heavy chest, heavy ribs, just dropping the whole front of the body towards the mat. And now we're going to walk our hands over to the left side of the mat. So go ahead and walk the hands over and bring your head down. You're leaning over your left thigh. Take a few breaths here. And then the other side, walking your hands all the way over. You're going to lean over your right thigh. Relax and breathe. And then let's come back to center and make our way onto all fours. So you can bring your knees back to parallel, to hip distance apart. And from here, just going to wiggle your tail from side to side. So you're pushing your tail right and left. And then you can exaggerate that movement. So you're going a little bit further. It starts to feel more like a stretch down the side of the thigh. And we're going further. We can even put the hip on the ground. Twisting right the way over. I'm keeping my arms straight, so the movement is all coming from the waist down. Let's take a couple more, side to side. And then we'll come back to center. We're going to walk our hands in towards us. Come right up onto your knees and go ahead and step 1 foot forward, whichever one you like. You're going to keep the legs straight. And then we're going to bring our hands down towards the floor. If this is a really big stretch for you, you can bend this knee slightly. If you're okay to keep the legs straight, go for it. And maybe you can walk your hands more forward and bring your head more down towards your knee. Let's breathe here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to lift the head and now we're going to bend this front knee. So we're bringing all of our weight forwards into our front foot. Somebody's pushed our low back from behind. And we're going to keep both hands on the floor, or if you feel more comfortable with one hand on the floor, that's okay. And we'll stay and breathe, bringing your chin towards your chest. So you're looking down towards your stomach, breathing here. You can stay here, or for a deeper stretch, you can tuck your back toe under and lift your knee away from the floor, so that's optional. Knee down or knee up, your choice. And then slowly bring your feet back together again, coming back onto all fours. And we're going to do that hip sway again. So going side to side, just moving your tail right and left. And gradually moving more and more side to side. You can start to really bring your hip towards the floor each time. Keeping your arms straight. Feel that nice stretch from the outside of your thigh, maybe a little bit in your low back as well. And then let's bring our hands back towards us. Come and stand up tall on your knees. And we'll step the other leg forward. So the one that you haven't done yet. Don't do the same leg twice. Hands come down onto the floor. If this is okay for you, you'll stay here. If you need to bend this knee a little bit, that's also okay. And if possible, you can try to walk your hands more forward and bring your head down towards your knee more. So that's a deeper stretch. Stay in 5, 4, 3, 2, And one. Now we're going to bend our front knee. So press your pelvis forward. Nice big stretch here for this hip flexor. And we can have both hands on the floor or just one hand on the floor if you feel more comfortable like that. You can relax your chin. We're looking down towards the belly. And we're going to breathe here. Relax the back of your neck. Take one more breath. And then let's bring the knees back together again. We're going to return to child's pose, so just the way we were in the beginning of the class. But this time, I want you to bring your hands around behind your back and interlace them. You can bring your forehead to the floor, and then raise your hands up towards the ceiling as much as you can. So you're really opening your chest and stretching your shoulders. And don't worry if you can't get the arms too high, that's fine. Do what you can. You want to think of squeezing your shoulder blades together. And then release. And we're going to make our way onto all fours for the last time. So coming onto your hands and your knees. We're going to scoop the belly in and up. So really think of tightening your core. And then we're going to take one leg and extend it out behind us. Okay, from here we're going to tap the ground and then lift the leg up, pulsing 3, 2, 1. So we've got a straight leg, we're going to tap the floor. We're going to lift and we're going to pulse 3, 2, 1. Let's move slowly with control. 1, 2, 3. Shoulders away from your ears. Don't let your belly drop. You want to keep lifting it the whole time. And let's see your legs going really, really high in the air. 2 more. Inhale down. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Last one. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Keep your leg in the air. We're going to bend the knee slowly, curling it towards us, and we're going to extend it back out behind us. So we're curling the heel in, it's your hamstring muscle that's working, and then reach back out. And squeeze your heel to your butt, and stretch. You should feel the back of your leg working hard, especially if your knee is nice and high in the air. And we're looking down between our hands so our neck stays relaxed. Bend, extend. We're going to do 3 more. Slow control movements. As if the air was really thick and heavy and you have to push through it. Squeeze it in, release. Last time, squeeze it in, release. And then bring your knee down, and to stretch out our wrists, we're actually going to turn our hands the other way around. So tuck your fingers under both sides and gently press into the back of your hands so you feel a stretch right through here, through the front of the arms. If this is too intense for you, I suggest doing one hand at a time and then switching so you don't have all of your weight on the 2 hands. If it's okay for you to have both hands tucked under, you can stay like this for another breath or 2. Okay, and let's come back to regular position. We'll do the other side, so go ahead and reach the other leg out. Straight knee, we're going to tap down on the floor, and we're going to lift up and pulse 1, 2, 3. Inhale down, and pulse, pulse, pulse. Moving with control, we breathe out, out, out. Inhale, and let's aim to get this leg really high. And the whole way through the exercise, we're really literally pushing the ground away from us. Otherwise we start to get droopy arms, which we don't want. We want to push the floor. Let's go twice more. Inhale down, and pulse, pulse, pulse. Last time. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Keep your leg up and curl your heel in and out. We're squeezing the heel into the butt, and then we're lengthening, reaching out. Try not to let your leg drop down as you do the exercise, so your knee should remain nice and high, and you're really just curling from the knee joint. So we don't want to move from the hip, just the knee. Slowly, slowly, make sure your neck is long. You can look down between your hands, and it should feel like hard work as we get towards the end of the exercise, especially if your leg is high. 2 more. Last one, and bring your knee down. Well done. Come and sit down on your bottom, and bring your feet together like a frog. And just take a hold of your feet or your ankles, wherever it's comfortable for you to hold. And you're going to bounce your knees up and down. So kind of like butterfly wings, just flapping. And here you're aiming to open the groin, open the hip joints. And then we're going to relax our legs and we're going to relax our head forward, going over towards our feet. Take a couple of breaths, really relax the back of your neck. And then roll up slowly. Now we're going to lean over to one side, so you're going to tilt your whole body. You can imagine this is like a little boat, and you're going to tip right over to the side until your knee meets the floor. And then we're going to push our elbow into this knee that's on the ground, and the other hand is going to press the knee away. So we're opening here, opening the groin and the hip, creating some space. Hold it there. It might feel like a really gentle stretch, which is fine, or it might be more intense if you're tight here. Okay, release. Let's come back through center. We're going to rock to the second side. We're going to use our elbow to push our knee down like a paperweight, and the free hand is going to push the knee away. And hold it here. Take a couple of breaths, feeling your hip opening. And release. Okay, good. Now from here, let's bring our left foot closer to the groin so you can mirror me. And your right foot is going to be a little ahead of you, still turned out in this position. We're going to walk our hands forward as much as we can. We're going to bring our head towards this front foot. And we're going to stay for a breath in and out. Really relax your head. Breathing in and out. One more, inhale. And exhale. Let's roll up slowly. And the leg we've just been stretching, we're going to lift in the air. We're going to interlace our hands around the foot and lift the foot as high as you can in the air. And now you're going to rock, kind of like rocking a baby side to side. So the higher you can get this foot, the more you're going to feel it. And if you're really, really loose, you might want to be able to, bring your foot really close to your chest. So draw it towards you as you rock. And you can try to sit up nice and tall, which is challenging here. Taking 2 more breaths. And release this leg. You're going to tuck it behind you, so coming into a mermaid position. And if you're mirroring me, it's your right leg that's gone around to the side. Let's drop down onto our arm, or maybe onto our elbow if we're flexible enough. And we're going to move this hand. So right hand's going to reach overhead. You can look towards your hand. And then you're going to sweep it down and round and back. And repeat. So we're coming overhead, really stretch through the arm. And return. Enjoy the movement. Really lengthen through your waist. Try to reach along through your fingers. And release. One more time. Reaching overhead. And let's come up slowly. Back to our frog position, feet together. Holding your feet or your ankles, you're going to pulse. So knees bounce up and down like butterfly wings. Just opening your hips. And then forward bend, head towards your feet. Relax here and breathe in and out. Breathing in, relax the back of your neck. And breathe out. One more, inhale. Exhale, we're going to roll up slowly. And now we're going to separate our feet. So we're going to bring our right foot closer to our groin and our left foot a little further away, but we still have the knee turned out like this. Hands come onto the floor. We're going to walk our hands, so a few paw prints forwards, and then bring your head towards your front foot. Lengthen the spine, lengthen the waist, lengthen the back of your neck. You should feel a good stretch in your hip. Let's walk our hands back in towards us. And now we're going to interlace our hands around this foot. And we're going to lift the foot towards our chest as much as we can. And we're going to rock side to side, so it's like you're rocking a baby. And if you can bring your foot closer to your chest, go for it. It will be a more intense stretch, more effective. And also think of lifting up through your spine, sitting up really tall. Okay, good. And let this leg go. Now we're going to turn it in, so we're coming into a mermaid position. And we're either going to come onto our hand back here, or right down onto our elbow. You can choose either. The knees are down towards the floor, and this hand is going to move out and up. Reach over your head as much as you can. And then inhale, lengthen, stretch the other way. And exhale, it's like you're drawing a semicircle. Stretch through your waist. Inhale, return. 2 more. Exhale, reach overhead. Inhale, bring it around. Last time, exhale, stretch. And return. Let's come all the way up. And we're going to make our way to lying down on our side. If you have a Pilates ball, you can use it for this exercise. If you don't have one, it's okay. You'll do the exercise without. So For those of you who do have a ball, you're going to put it between your feet. And we're going to be lying right down on our side with our underneath arm acting as a support for our head and our top hand coming in front of us for balance. And now we're going to lift both legs up in the air as high as we can, and we're slowly going to tap the floor and go straight back up. Lift, lower, and tap the floor. Exhale up, inhale down, tap, exhale up, and down. If you're doing this without the ball, you just keep your feet together. It's exactly the same exercise. Let's relax our shoulders. And I think for this particular exercise, you don't actually have to use a Pilates ball. You could use any kind of football or any kind of squishy ball that you have. And I'll just explain what the exercise is doing. It's working your waist muscles, specifically this top waist. So if you want to feel it, you can take your hand, place it just above your hip bone on your waist, and as you lift your legs, you should really feel that muscle fire up and then release as you lower your legs down. Strong ladies, challenge yourself, take the legs higher. So it might feel like work to take them low, but you'll feel it much more if you really challenge yourself to get the legs higher. Exhale up. Inhale down, 2 more. And then we're going to take a little rest. We're going to bring our hand onto our shoulder and we're going to draw 3 big circles. We're stretching our shoulder joints, so really pull the elbow behind you as much as you can. And then we're going to return this hand back down to the floor. We're going to lift the legs up 1 more time and we're going to keep them up this time for bend and stretch. So curl your heels back towards your butt and then stretch them out. And repeat, curling your heels towards your buttocks and stretch. And your inner thighs are working here. Even if you don't have the ball, your inner thighs are working to keep your legs together. Then extend. The most important thing is that you're not doing this on the floor like this. You're going to have your legs up off the ground. And if you're strong enough, lift your thighs completely off the ground so you're just on your hip bone. Slowly bend. You want to move your feet at the same time. Last 3. And stretch. You should feel it right here in your top hip. 2. Last 1. And we're going to rest. You can put the ball to one side. Stay on your side. And we're going to bend this top knee and bring it forward. I'm not going to bring the knee to the ground though. I'm going to keep it in parallel and top hand back on the floor. We're going to turn this knee out towards the ceiling so the kneecap is facing up. And then we're going to turn the knee forward, but not quite all the way to the floor, so to parallel. Let's go again. We're going to turn the top knee open towards the ceiling and back to center. And your waist has to work here. So yes, it's a butt exercise. You'll feel it in your butt. Your thighs are working too, but your waist has to do so much for stabilizing you. So we're going to breathe out, open the knee. Breathe in, bring it slowly down. And I know you have a tendency to rush. No one in particular, just generally when we're doing an exercise that's challenging, we want to move faster. But it's more effective if you move slowly. It's harder. So try to keep the movement slow and controlled. Exhale, open. Inhale down. We've got 3 more to go. Really turn that knee out as much as you can. 2. And down. Last 1. And down. Okay, well done. This leg is now going to bend. So top leg is bent. If it will stay where it is, you can leave it there. If you need to hold onto it, you can grab hold of the ankle, on the front or the back or the knee. So your choice. Okay, so I'll hold on to the ankle for now. And we're going to lift this bottom leg up, up, up. We're pulsing and we're working our inner thigh. So as high as you possibly can. And try to make the movement still controlled, not just throwing the leg, but lifting it with control each time. And I like to do this exercise with my foot flexed, because it really helps to get length in the leg. Keep going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Both legs straight, bringing the head down again, and top hand onto the floor. I want you to point your toes, both legs, really straight, strong knees. And now our top leg is going to lift just a little bit in the air. We're going to tap down on the floor in front of us. We're going to lift the leg up. We're going to go behind us and we're going to tap down on the floor. So we're going up and over, tap the ground. Up and over, tap the ground. This is a great exercise for your thigh here and your side buttock. So moving slowly, it's like a rainbow shape that you're painting. Up, over, tap. up and over tap. If you're strong, you can start to make that movement much bigger, so really lifting high and really moving quite far forward. And again, really high and to the back, but without falling backwards. Or you can keep the movement smaller, more precise, which is still plenty of work. We're going to go twice more. And relax, and you should have really felt that in your hip. Let's come up, we'll do a quick stretch. So we'll take our legs straight ahead of us. And the leg that you've just worked, your top leg, so if you're mirroring me, your right leg, you're going to bend it, and you're going to bring it up on top of the other leg. If that's too intense for you, you can bring it down onto the floor, but I want you to give it a try and see if you can bring the leg over the top. And then we're going to push the knee towards the floor, and we're going to lean forward. So here we're really opening this hip on the right. So I'll just go through that one more time. You're lifting your right foot, bringing it on top of your left thigh. Maybe it's further away, maybe it's closer. We're going to push the knee down, and then lean forward. And if it's too intense, you can have your foot on the ground, you can push your knee forward, and same exact thing. So let's hold for a few breaths here, just letting everything relax, letting the muscles adjust to this new lengthened position. Keep pushing this knee towards the floor. And let's roll up and release. We're going to do the whole thing on the second side. So if you have your wall, you can bring it in for the first couple of exercises. Our legs will be straight. Underneath the arm supporting your head, and top hand pressing onto the floor for balance. And we want to be lying in one long line, so make sure your feet aren't too far forward or too far behind you, just straight in line with your spine. We're going to lift our legs up, and we're going to lower our legs down. So really, really simple exercise, but a lot of muscles working hard. Take it slowly. Remember to keep your legs squeezing together, so you're either hugging your wall or just squeezing your inner thighs to each other. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, so don't do the exercise like this. Exhale up high as you can, inhale down. Exhale high as your legs will go. You're challenging yourself, feeling it here in your waist, the top waist. We'll go 4 more times. Last one, and relax your legs down. Let's take a break for the legs and take our hand onto our shoulder. Draw a big circle with your elbow all the way around and back. We'll do that twice more, nice big circle, stretching the shoulder. And last one. Then we're going to bring this hand back onto the floor and take both legs back up to the ceiling, high as you can. And now we're going to bend our knees behind us, and we're going to stretch them back out, totally straight. So heels come in as if you're going to touch your butt with your heels, and then big stretch, extending your knees. Coming in slowly. Careful that your legs aren't on the floor. We don't want to just slide our feet along the floor. We want to lift them in the air. You're either hugging your feet together or hugging your wall. And we really want to push into the floor with this top hand. It helps to activate the correct muscles. Last 3. And stretch. Keep your head relaxed. 2. 1, and bring your legs down. Okay, well done. Let's get rid of the ball. We'll stay on our side, and we're going to bend our top knee in front of us. So your foot will come onto the inside of your knee, and don't quite bring the top knee to the floor. It's going to start in a parallel position. And now we're going to open our knee as wide as we can, and we're going to turn it back to parallel. So our knee is rotating towards the ceiling nice and slowly. And we come back to parallel. And it really is quite hard work if you're doing it correctly. So if you're not doing it correctly, it means your whole body is wobbling around and you're not isolating the thigh. So if you were doing it wrong, your whole pelvis would tilt back, which we don't want. You're going to keep everything nice and still and just move the thigh bone inside the hip joint. Turning out as much as you can, kneecap towards the ceiling. And down, let's keep going for 4. And down, pointing your toes. 3. And down, it should feel like hard work. 2. And 1. And down. Now we're going to bring this foot onto the floor. And you can either just keep it like this, or you can grab a hold of it with your hand. And we're going to lift our bottom leg up with a really stretched knee and flex foot. And we're going to pulse, 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 pulse as high as you can. Really reach off the floor. Great toning exercise for that inner thigh muscle. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Take a nice deep inhale and a big exhale. Okay, let's stretch both legs out. Bring your bottom arm underneath your head. Pointing both feet now. We're going to take the top leg and we're going to bring it forward in front of us, tapping the floor. We're going to lift up and we're going to reach it behind us, and again we're going to tap the floor. So it's a little rainbow shape that we're painting. Up and over. And up and over. Imagine you had a paintbrush in your toes and you're painting on the wall, this rainbow shape, up and over. And if you want to take it bigger, it's more challenging, so go ahead if you want to. Higher and further back. And then higher and further forward. Or you can stay with the movement nice and small. Let's keep our shoulders stable, let's keep our pelvis stable. And we're going to go another 3 times. Moving with control and enjoying the movement. Last one, and bring your feet together. Let's push ourselves slowly back up. And we'll take our stretch. So go ahead and bring your legs straight ahead of you. And now the leg we just worked, your left leg, you're going to bring it up and you're going to try and bring it across your thigh. If it's further away from you, no problem. If you can get it closer to your hip, it's a better stretch. And we're going to push this knee down towards the floor. So just giving it a little press to open the hip joint. And if it's not too much for you, you can lean forward slightly. Or if it's too intense, this foot will be on the ground, and same exact exercise. So let's continue to hold. We're going to breathe here. And we'll make our way up. Okay, it's time to work on our abdominals. So let's use our Pilates ball if we have one. If we don't have one, we're going to use a pillow that's folded up. We're going to place it behind our back. And then we're going to lean onto the ball with our feet in front of us and a little space between our knees. And we're going to take our hands straight ahead of us like this. One hand's going to reach up and one hand's going to go down. So it's like you're scissoring your arms. And then you're going to switch, one hand up, one hand down. And switch. Draw your belly to your spine. And switch. And switch. Now we can add a little bit of leg work if it's not too much. We can lift opposite arm to leg and switch. You're kind of like swimming on your back, except you're upright. And if you're getting the coordination wrong, it doesn't matter too much as long as you're challenging your core. So one leg, one arm are lifting. Maybe it's the same arm as leg, maybe it's the opposite, it's okay. Keep drawing your belly towards your spine. Let's take another 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Let's stay here and reach our arms ahead of us. We're going to open and close our arms, and then we're going to come and sit up, and we're going to lean back again. So we're going to go open, close with the arms. We're going to pull ourselves up to a seated position, and we're going to lean back. Open, close, lift, and onto the ball. Open, close, lift, and down. 4 more times. If you need to stop or take a break at any point, that's fine. Open, close, lift, and down. You can take it lower for more challenge. Last one. And then for those of you who want one last challenge, stay down. And we're just going to open, close 10 times. If it's too much for you, take a rest. So really draw your ribs in, draw your belly in, try and stabilize your upper body. We're only moving our arms. 5 and 4. Really take the arms back behind you. 3, 2, 1, and we're coming up. Okay, good job. Come and lie down on your back. You need your ball or your pillow again. We're going to place it underneath the pelvis. So low down, not on your low back, but underneath your pelvis itself. And then we're going to bring our knees up to what we call tabletop position, so knees right above your pelvis. And we're going to flex our feet, so toes towards you, heels away. And just have your hands resting by your side for balance. We're slowly going to dip our heel to the floor, and then we're going to return to tabletop. It's just one leg at a time. Dip, return to tabletop. Toes up towards you all the time, flex, and return. And what we want to do here is keep everything stable. So no rocking, wobbling, losing your balance. And you can test that by taking your hands to the ceiling and seeing if you start to wobble around like crazy. If you're doing it on a pillow, it is a little bit more stable, but there's still that element of having to stabilize. If you're on the ball, it can really get wobbly if you don't engage your core, so you know immediately if you're doing it correctly or not when you take your hands off the floor. Let's keep going. Exhale down. Inhale up. Really stretch your arms to the ceiling. Exhale down. Belly button to spine. And lift. Last 2. Last 1. And we'll bring our feet down to the floor. Remove the ball. Place it between the knees. And now we're going to lift our heels off the floor. So we're on our toes. And we're going to squeeze our ball nice and tight. Let's interlace our hands behind the back of our head. And now if you have osteoporosis, I don't want you to do the chest curl. You're just going to squeeze your knees together, pull in your pelvic floor, and then relax. And squeeze the ball, pelvic floor muscles tightening, and then relax. Those of you who don't have osteoporosis or are not pregnant, you're going to curl your chest forward as you squeeze the ball, and you're going to relax down with control. So we hug the knees together, we contract the pelvic floor, lift the chest, and slowly release. And whichever variation you're doing, your heels are right off the floor. So really lift it onto your toes, and if you're wearing stilettos. Exhale up. Inhale, rest. You want to press your spine down into the floor behind you. Really imprinting your back to the ground. Remember to squeeze your ball as you lift up. Let's take 3 more. Elbows wide. Here's our last one. Squeeze and release. And we'll rest. Okay, let's reach our arms back behind us, so straight arms. Don't worry if you can't quite touch the floor, so a lot of our shoulder joint position, we might end up with the arm back here, and that's the maximum stretch for us, so wherever you can get to is fine. Take your legs a little further away from you, so walking your heels out. And now we're going to reach our hands forward, we're going to reach our legs up, we're going to tap our shins with both hands. We're going to lower our legs and lower our hands back to the floor to rest. So we're going to raise our legs, we're going to touch our shins, and we're going to lower the legs down, lower the hands down. What I don't want to see is an arch in the back. So if we're doing it wrong, we end up like this with a huge arch underneath your back. We don't want that. We want to keep the back of the ribs down, keep the back of the waist down, all the way through the exercise. So totally squashing your spine into the floor. Exhale, lift. Inhale, legs away from you. And lift. Feel your stomach muscles being challenged. Take the legs away. Another thing we don't want to do is bend the knees too much. Okay, so the legs are almost straight. And that gives us more leverage, so we're working the core harder. The legs are heavier when they're more extended. This is 3. And stretch. Curling. 2. And stretch. One more time. Legs up and relax. You can put your ball to one side. Bring the soles of your feet together in a frog and grab a hold of them. And just relax here. You can close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. Let your belly relax. Shoulders away from your ears. Nice big stretch in the hips. Okay, good. Let's release the hands. We're going to bring the hands behind the back of our head again. And we're going to stretch our legs up to the ceiling and make a little V shape with our feet. And now our knees are going to bend, it's like doing a plie, and we're going to stretch our legs back to the ceiling again. So bending our knees, keeping our heels together, and stretch. I just want to show you from a different angle so you can see what I'm doing. Knees bend, like a plie, and heels up, stretch. Inhale, exhale. Now, if you'd like to work a little bit harder, you can add a chest curl. So knees bend, relaxing. And as you straighten your legs, you can curl your chest up. We're going to bring the head down, knees bend. We're going to reach the heels up and we're going to chest curl. And that is totally optional. You still work your core with or without the chest curl. I just like to give options for those of you who are having a day where you're feeling stronger, you've got more energy. And an option that's just a little bit easier, but it still works. We'll keep going, 4 more. And always keeping your elbows wide in any kind of chest curl or sit-up exercise. We don't want to close the elbows into the face, so keep them open away from you. Here's our last one. And then relax, bring your feet to the ground. We're going to give our stomach a break now. So take your feet as wide as the mat. And then we're going to lift up into a bridge, raising the pelvis towards the ceiling. We're going to hold. And you can rest your hands by your sides. Really, really squeeze your buttocks, pushing up as much as you can. And then we're going to stay here. We're going to raise one hand overhead, tap the floor, and then return down, changing sides. So moving the arms slowly back and down. Try not to let it affect your pelvis, so we don't want to be twisting or dropping the hip as we move the arm. Really, everything from the rib cage down stays pretty still. And just one hand moves at a time. Switch. And down, keep squeezing your buttocks like crazy and really pushing your pelvis to the highest point that you can hold. Last 2. And 1. And down. Now let's bend our arms so our elbows are still on the floor. And we're really going to push our elbows down into the ground. Our pelvis is going to drop down, tap the floor, and then bridge as high as you can, squeeze your butt. Let's do it again. Lower your pelvis down, tap your tailbone on the floor, and push up, really squeeze your butt. All the time I want your arms to be active, so it's as if you're pushing your elbows down towards the floor, and that's going to get your back muscles working. Inhale down, squeeze your butt, lift. And inhale down, and squeeze and lift. You should feel your legs by now. Last 2. Inhale, and push. Last time. And push and relax. We're going to come up to a seated position. If you have a TheraBand, let's bring it to this exercise, or any other strap will do. Coming to face forward. So we're going to take our right leg out ahead of us, and we're going to wrap the strap or the TheraBand around the foot. And we're going to extend the leg out straight. You can turn out the other leg, the left knee turned out. And then I want you to bring your body forward, but with a straight spine. So don't round over, but rather think of reaching your stomach forward, reaching your chest forward, and reaching your chin forward. And pretty much straight away, you're going to feel that you're getting a stretch through your hamstring. And your toes are lifting, so also stretching out your feet and your calves. For some of you who are super flexible, you may be able to keep a straight spine and really come all the way forward. But for most of us, we're going to come about halfway down. Cheat by rounding your spine. Really press the chest out. And keep this band pulled tight so your toes are coming towards you. If you have a regular strap, then you want to take your hands a little further out and have some tension in the strap. If you have a TheraBand, you could bend the elbows so you're getting more tension like that. 2 more cycles of breath. And let's lift back up and release the foot. Second side, we're going to wrap our band or our strap around our left foot and extend the leg ahead of us. And now we're going to pull nice and tight so your toes are coming up. And then with a straight spine, you're going to lean forward. So it really might not be a very big movement at all, but you might feel a lot of sensation behind the knee. You're doing it correctly. So we want to keep the spine straight, push your stomach forward, push your chest forward, push your chin forward. And then maybe bend your arms a little bit to get more stretch through that back of the ankle, back of the calf. Breathe, hold it here. Chin forward as much as you can. One more breath. And we're going to come up, and you can put your legs in any position that's comfortable for you and keep a hold of your strap. So we're going to take our arms out ahead of us and hold the strap, and your arms will be about as wide as your knees or a little wider than your shoulders. We're going to take our arms over to the side. You're going to side bend, reaching the band over, reaching your side body over, and you're going to come back up to center. Bring the hands back in front of you. Other side, leaning over, taking the hands overhead and side bend as much as you can. And then slowly come back to center. So our hands are going overhead, we're leaning to our side. It's a stretch and it's work for your waist. Come back to center. And switch, stretch your band, lean over as much as you can. And come back to center. This time we're going to go over and we're going to bend our top hand. We're going to continue taking a circle, arms move behind us. We're going to bend our top hand and we're going to bring the arms forward. So we're doing a circle, taking the arms over, behind us, over and forward. I know this is a little bit of coordination, just do your best. Think of making a circle. One more time this way, circling around. And then we're going to reverse. So we're going to go over, we're bending our top hand. Arms stretch behind us. Again, we bend the top hand and we continue forward, circling around. Back, around, forward, two more. Nice big stretch for your shoulders. All the way around and relax. You can put your band to one side. Now we're going to take our hands onto the floor and walk them a little bit behind us. So it's really opening the chest here. Hands may be all the way back, you can even touch your fingers together if you're flexible enough. And then bring your chin right down towards your chest to stretch the back of your neck. Hold it here, take a few breaths. Don't lean your whole spine forward, just your chin. And then you're going to turn your head side to side. So you're looking over to your left hip and then your right hip. Keeping the chin forward. Keeping the arms really stretched behind you. Okay, and release. And then we're going to lift our head up. And we're going to take our hands into this position, palms together, but behind our back. So I'll show you from the back. Like this. If this is too intense for you, you can just hold your hands together. But if you are able to get into this position, give it a try. So hands together, shoulders down. We're going to drop our head over to the right. Stretch and hold. We're stretching the neck. Breathe here. Again, if it's too intense for you, just clasp your hands together. Same thing. And when you're ready, your head comes back to center and you change sides. Hold. Feel the stretch through your neck. And release. Let's repeat one more time each way. Head to one side. And switch. Okay, release. Well done. Let's come to lie down on our stomach. We're going to strengthen our back muscles. So coming onto your tummy, with your legs extended behind you, feet just hip distance apart. And we're going to take our hands really quite wide. So I want your elbows off to the sides of the mat and the hands down on the floor as well. So not too close to you, really open, elbows off of your mat. And the point where the elbow is in line with your shoulder. So you don't want to be back here or too far forward, just same line as your shoulder is fine. Push into your hands and your elbows and see how high you can lift your upper body, your chest and your head. And then relax down and turn your head to one side. Let's go again. We're going to push into our elbows, push into our hands and lift our chest as much as we can. And then we'll turn our head the other way. So we're coming up, arching the back, push the floor with your hands. And turn your head coming down. Keep your elbows on the floor. Lift and squeeze your butt. And release down. And lift, squeezing the butt. And down. Let's do 2 more. Arching the back, strengthening the muscles there. Down. Last one, lift. And down. Okay, good. Now we're going to come up into this back arch. And we're going to take our hands off the floor. So we're lifting our chest, we're really using our back muscles. Our arms are in this position. And they're going to reach to the sides like airplane arms and back in towards us. So we're going to open out, stretch the arms, and we're going to slowly bring it in. Try to stay off the floor. Even if you're 2 centimeters off the floor, it's fine. But don't crash down. So head up, chest up. If you're strong, you might be able to come up higher. This is about my maximum. Reach. And in. Feel the back muscles working so hard. 3. And 2. And 1. Hands down. Let's go to downward facing dog. So push your hips up. Press your tail to the sky. Relax your head. Maybe nod it, shake it. And press your heels towards the floor as much as you can. We're going to stay for 3 breaths. Think of moving your weight backwards. Weight goes into the back of your hands, the palms of the hands. Pushing the weight back towards your heels. Pressing your tailbone backward. And then bring your knees down to the floor. And let's come up onto our knees. We're going to do a stretch for our thighs. So you can stay facing sideways if you like. I just want to show you from the front, it will be clearer. We're going to take our right leg and we're going to bring it in front of us like this. So we're kneeling on one knee, the other leg is up. We're going to put our hands on the floor. And I know for some of you immediately you're going to find this a little bit too intense on the knee. So please don't do it if you find that. I'll show you an alternative in a moment. But if you can, you're going to walk your hands backward behind you. And you're going to lean right back onto your hands. And you should feel some kind of stretch here through your quadricep, your thigh. Or if you're very flexible, you can lift your pelvis up to give yourself more stretch. So I'll show you it from the side. Hands behind you, you can stay here. Or you can press your pelvis up for more stretch. If this is too intense for you, an easier variation is going to be to lie on your side, take a hold of your foot, and then you're going to stretch your thigh like this. So you can choose either of those variations. I'm going to stick with the first one. So you want to make sure your knee is pressing down into the floor. And it's optional to lift your pelvis. Your pelvis can be up or down. Let's hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. We're going to change sides. If you're lying on your side, just flip over to the other side. If you're doing this variation with me, you're going to change legs. And again, you can keep your buttocks down or take your pelvis up for more stretch. And you're going to push your knee down towards the floor. You're going to squeeze your buttocks, both of them. Push the ground away from you. Hold it there. Feeling that stretch in the front of your thigh. Take 1 more breath. And release and let it go. Alright, let's take our TheraBand. We're going to lie down on our back. I think we're coming towards the end of the class. Just take our time. Yeah, we have a little bit more time. Okay, come and lie down on your back. We're going to take our right foot into the TheraBand and straighten the leg. And we're going to stretch out our left leg along the floor. And now with our right leg, we're going to keep our toes flexed the whole time. And we're going to have our toes facing towards our head, to begin with at least, so parallel. And now I want you to turn your toes out so they face to the side of the room and turn them back to parallel again. So your toe is turning out and in. Out and in. But the movement is not just coming from the toes, your whole entire leg is turning out and in. It's coming from the hip joint. So your thigh, your knee will turn in. 3 and 2 and 1. Coming back to parallel. Now we're going to lower this leg that's in the band towards the floor. The opposite leg is going to come up, so scissor. And then we're going to return to where we started and we're going to pulse 3, 2, 1. Lowering the leg, and the opposite leg comes up scissor. We return to where we started, and we're going to give this leg a tug. 3, 2, 1. Let's go twice more. Inhale. Return, exhale. One more time. Inhale, scissor your legs. Exhale, pull your leg towards you. Pulse. 2, 1. Stay here with the leg extended and gently move your leg from side to side. So you're going to go right and left, maintaining that hamstring stretch all the time. So your leg is as much towards you as it will go. And I always like to do this exercise with the elbows on the floor because it minimizes the neck and shoulder tension, which you might have if your arms are up. You might end up getting a little bit tight up there. So it's nice to bring the elbows down. Two more, side to side. Okay, we're going to release this leg. It should feel much more open than before. Left foot goes in the strap. And the right foot extends along the floor. And we're going to flex our toes, so toes towards you, parallel to begin with. We're going to turn the knee out, so toes point left and back to center. Turn out, turn in. It feels a little bit interesting inside your hip joint. There's a lot of different muscles working and stretching to turn the knee in and out. Try to keep your knee totally straight. Let's go 3 and change. 2, change. 1 and change. Okay, keeping your legs straight now. We're going to scissor the legs. One leg up, one leg down. We're going to return to where we started with 3 pulses. 3, 2, 1. Let's go again. Scissor your legs. And return. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Twice more. Inhale, scissor. Exhale, return. 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, pulse. 3, 2, and 1. Keep your leg towards you. Big, big stretch. And move left and right. Your hamstrings really opening here, side to side. Neck and shoulders relaxed. Let's go a couple more times. Okay, we're going to release this leg, let it go. You can put your band to one side. And then let's use our ball or a pillow for this last exercise. So you can take the ball or the pillow behind your head. And what we're going to do now is work the back of the neck, your neck extensors. So you're going to push your head down and squeeze the ball towards the floor. And then you're going to let go and release. So really simple movement, just push your head down, squish the ball or the pillow as much as you can, and then release. And this is an amazing exercise for your posture. So the neck is a super important muscle that usually gets neglected in fitness classes. That's really important to strengthen the neck because it holds the weight of your head up. It plays a big role in your posture. Squeeze, push your head down, squash the ball, and release. Let your chest open as you push. Release. We'll go 5 more times. And when you've done your last one, just relax your neck and gently nod, like you're saying yes, a few times, up and down. And then side to side, like you're saying no. It's a very tiny movement. We don't want to make ourselves dizzy. And then teeny weeny circles, as if you had paint on your nose and you were drawing a tiny circle on the ceiling. This is great for your neck. Reverse the other way. And then just remove the ball. You can put it to one side. And for relaxation today, let's turn our knees out in a frog position. And we're going to take our elbows into a cactus position. So elbows to the floor, palms faced up. And you're going to stay here. If this feels like it's a little bit too intense for you, where your thighs are, I have a great trick. I'll just demonstrate for you. One second. All you need is a couple of pillows. I'll show you from the front. You're going to take your pillows, and depending on how high they are, you can use them like this, or you can fold them in half and tuck them underneath the hips. And then when you lay back, from the side, when you lay back, it's a lot more supportive of the thigh joints. So if it was too intense for you just to be open in that position, give yourself a little bit of support with some pillows. Okay, arms wide. When you're ready, you can close your eyes. And of course, if the position is not comfortable for you and it disturbs your relaxation, feel free to change the position at any point. So we're going to lie here with our eyes closed. We'll take a few breaths. You're going to slow your breathing down, so each breath should be a little bit slower than the last. Taking the inhale a little bit deeper. Pausing between the breath, and then exhale every last drop of air out of your lungs. And each breath is slower than the last. Let your eyelids become heavy. Keep concentrating on your breathing, but let the eyelids really become heavy. And as you feel your eyes becoming heavier, you feel your forehead relaxing, your eyebrows relaxing. And you feel your breath getting deeper. Notice your belly rising and falling with each breath. And you can notice your chest rising and falling with each breath. And your neck muscles are relaxing. Your throat is relaxing. Your chest is relaxing. And you can notice your shoulders relaxing. The armpits are relaxing. Arms are relaxing. The wrists, the hands and fingers are relaxing. Your spine is becoming heavy, just melting into the floor. Your pelvis and buttocks are relaxing. Your thighs are relaxing. And your legs are becoming heavier. Your knees are relaxing towards the floor. Notice your ankles, your calves, and your feet all relaxing, and your toes relaxing. And your eyelids are even heavier, softening the cheeks, softening your lips, your tongue, the roof of your mouth. Your jaw is totally relaxed, no tension in the jaw. You can feel space between your top teeth and your bottom teeth. Lie here completely relaxed. I want you to take a moment to be grateful for your body and your health. And take a moment to be proud of yourself for looking after your body and your well-being. Let's take that breath even deeper, so a little bit more of an exaggerated breath now, really filling up your lungs as much as you can. And then on the exhale, feel free to make a big loud sigh, really letting all of the breath back out. And we'll do it one more time. Big inhale, fill up, so an exaggerated breath, expanding your lungs. And on the exhale, you can let out a nice big sigh. And wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Whenever you're ready, starting to make your way out of relaxation. I hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you very much for joining me.